Yo, what's up? Welcome back to another episode of the Sauce. Quick reminder, if you want to get in on the NFL Against the Spread contest, this week's winner gets a signed Drake London mini USC helmet. You have until kickoff. So head over to Kirms.com if you want to get in on that. In this video, we're talking Chargers at Titans. Interesting matchup here. Lines at Tennessee +3, totals at 45.5. Let's do it.
Welcome to the Sauce. The Sauce. Sauce. Hey, get the sauce.
So early public was in on the Titans on this one, but actually, action's been coming in on the Chargers all week. We're pretty much split even now. The public's pretty split on this one. And as I'm recording this, the consensus line is still sitting at 3. I did see some 2.5s out there, but it looks like most books have it at an even 3. So let's start with what we saw last week. Tanny definitely didn't have his best stuff out there. Good God, man, that was bad. Completed just 47% of his passes, 198 yards passing, 0 touchdowns, and 3 interceptions. My man had a QBR of 15.6. 2 of those picks were really bad, too. I know everyone's going to be talking shit about Tannehill all week, and I mean, deservingly so. But that offense is broken in a couple of places. The offensive line doesn't look good at all. Derrick Henry had just 15 carries for 63 yards. 51 of those yards came in the first half. He had just 5 carries for 12 yards in the second half of that game. So let's give the Saints defense some credit as well. Look at the third down conversions from that game. Titans just 2 of 12, 16.7%. Dennis Allen 100% outcoached the Titans staff on that side of the ball. Saints defense blitzed on the Titans offense in 32.5% of snaps in that game, which isn't a surprise because the Saints were the best blitzing defense in the NFL last year under Dennis Allen, allowing just 4.2 yards per play and a minus 34.7% DVOA on blitzing plays. That doesn't give me a ton of hope in the Titans offense, knowing they're about to play a Chargers team who also has a defensive head coach in Brandon Staley, and they blitzed even more than the Saints did in week 1, 35.6% of snaps, 5th most of any team in the NFL. And the Titans offensive line struggling to protect the quarterback, that's not new. Tannehill was sacked 3 times and hit 10 times in the game. But last season, Titans were 29th in adjusted sack rate and 29th in quarterback pressure allowed. So this offensive line is an issue, just hasn't been the same since Taylor Lewan left. Now, the Chargers defense definitely has its problems too, though. Last year, what was the Chargers defense main weakness? Besides injuries. Injuries was obviously their main weakness last year, but on the field, their main weakness was limiting big plays, specifically the deep passing game. Chargers defense was just 29th in the NFL in allowing explosive pass plays last year. They were also dead last in broken tackle percentage allowed, and they were dead last in open field yards per carry allowed. The Chargers' defensive problems can be summarized in 2 words: big plays. And what did we see last week? Exactly that. Tua ripped this Chargers secondary up, 466 yards passing, 3 touchdowns. He had 14 completions of 15 or more yards. That's just nuts. So it's playing right into the same trends we were seeing from this defense last year, cannot stop the downfield pass. Now, the good news for the Chargers defense would be that we know the Titans are not the type of offense that throws the ball downfield effectively. Last season, Ryan Tannehill was 26th in both passer rating and PFF grade on pass attempts of 20 or more yards. Derrick Henry is definitely a big play threat for sure, so that's something to keep an eye on, but as a whole, this Titans passing attack just isn't threatening. This may be the ultimate buy low spot for the Chargers defense. Keep in mind, they were injured as hell last year, and they played the Dolphins in week 1. Dolphins' offensive style, as I just explained, pretty much the Achilles heel of the Chargers when the Dolphins are on, that is. I'm expecting the Chargers defense to show up for this one. On the other side, now we get to some positive angles for the Titans. That defense picked up right where it left off last year. Titans had the best run defense in the NFL last season. First in rushing yards per game allowed, yards per carry allowed, rushing defense DVOA, first in all 3 categories. Nobody ran the ball in the Titans last year. And we saw it in week 1, looking exactly like they did last year. Saints ran the ball 27 times for just 69 yards rushing, 2.6 yards per carry. I know the Chargers were running the ball pretty well in the Dolphins defense last week, but with Austin Eckler yet to practice this week, we don't know if he's going to play against this Titans defense. I don't think the run game's going to be there for the Chargers. Now let's switch it up and talk about the Titans defense against the pass. If you go by last year's metrics, they were absolutely terrible. They were one of the worst pass defenses in the NFL, bottom 4 or 5 in all major categories. But the thing with the Titans defense is, just like the Chargers defense, they dealt with so many injuries, specifically in the secondary and the linebacking core. In fact, the Tennessee Titans had 100 122.9 adjusted yards per game lost on the defensive side of the ball due to injuries, which was more than any other defense in the NFL, even the LA Chargers. We did see Derek Carr put together a solid game statistically, throwing the ball in Tennessee last week. He didn't get a ton of clean pockets to throw out of, though. Titans pass rush is definitely real, and when he did, for the most part, he was able to make plays, but I think this stat line is a little inflated. I watched that game, and the Titans defense was great. This makes it seem like they were struggling to stop the pass. That just wasn't the feel of the game. This Titans defense should be great this year. It should be a top 3 or 4 defense as long as it stays healthy. I think they're going to give Justin Herbert problems. I think they're going to give the Chargers offensive line problems. Think about this. This is Justin Herbert and the Chargers offense against one of the worst pass defenses in the NFL last year, and the Chargers team total is set at 23.5. So the odds makers agree with me. They believe in this Titans defense, which is why I think I'm leaning towards the under in this one. Keep in mind, Titans run one of the slowest pace offenses in the NFL. Last year, Tennessee averaged just 58.4 plays per game. That was 31st in the league. They ran just 59 plays in week 1. So I agree with the odds makers here. I think we're looking at a low scoring game. So I'll take the under at 45.5. As far as picking a side, if I'm getting the full 3, I'm probably going to play Tennessee. At 2.5, this will probably be a pass for me, so let's see what the line does. I'll let you know my final decision on the live show Sunday morning, 11 a.m. If you want my top bets, parlay of the day, if you want to join the Discord, if you want to get in on the Against the Spread contest giveaway, head over to KyleKirms.com. All the information is located right there on the homepage. Live show, like I mentioned, Sunday morning, 11 a.m. We'll go through every single game, make our final decisions. If you're able to make it, we'd love to see you in the comments. NFL Week 2, we got off to a decent start. We broke even. We were in the green, but not by much. Let's get some better results for Week 2. Remember to bet responsibly, and I'll talk to you in the Discord.